sounds look pretty good. Now let's turn to Liang. She's chair professor in economics at Willamette University. Yan, I just want to ask how important these cultural exchanges are when it comes to understanding. We saw it in the pecan market industry. We've seen it in sports. We've seen it in music. How important are those exchanges in academic institutions like where you are?
Yeah, good to talk to you, Asieh. I think it's very important. I think fundamentally the two countries' relationships is based on this kinds of people-to-people exchanges, this kinds of mutual economic, cultural, and people-to-people exchanges. So in addition to the wushu martial arts, where it could really introduce the Chinese culture and enhance the understanding of both peoples and both cultures, but there are also many others. One of the things that I am really closely, watching is also, from Oregon State, where I reside in, some of my OCC, the Oregon China Council colleagues and friends are visiting China, visiting some of the sister cities where we know that there are, dozens, 38 pairs of sister cities between the United States and China. So I think all these kinds of cultural exchanges are super important for sort of cultivating the mutual understanding and respect of the cultures. So as President Xi talked about, it's impossible for one side to remodel the other, but rather, we should treat each other as equals, and therefore we'll be able to enrich our cultures with each other. In addition, I think you mentioned the pecans, and so yes, China is a major market for the U.S. agricultural products. As a matter of fact, just last year, the U.S. is selling, tens of billions of agricultural products to China. China accounts for about 19% of the U.S. Total exports of agricultural products. So we're just seeing that all these levels of exchanges and interconnections, and that would really help to benefit both countries and both peoples.
So obviously we talked about a ping pong diplomacy. We had video on our air just a second ago, panda diplomacy, which appears to be over at least for now. What do we need to do here to revive that spirit, if you will, between the two countries?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I think, we could start with very concrete and small steps, like, for example, increasing the direct flights between the two countries. And now we're talking about 70 flights in a week. And that is much better than right after the pandemic. But still, we're way before we can reach that 150, direct flights per week before the pandemic. So I think, we cannot underplay the importance of this kinds of direct flights, and people can travel. The American visitors used to be about 4% of the total, foreign visitors in China, and now it's much lower than that. And the same with, Chinese visitors to the United States. So I think the first thing is we could definitely, enhance the kinds of logistics to facilitate, visits. And there are also scholarly, I think, exchanges. I'm longing to apply for example, Fulbright, the scholar exchange between the U.S. and China. And I think that's super important because we do want to resume the kind of informational flow, that we do want to kind of have the exchanges of ideas in both academia, in policy making, advisory circles, and so on and so forth. And so I think those are very, just at the very minimum, low-hanging fruits that we could resume and strengthen.
All right, we'll leave it there. Liang, thank you very much.